Hi guys. So today I want to talk about something that is very dark and very heavy, but it is near and dear to my heart. Well, it's not dear, but this is there's possible trigger warning, and so please proceed with precaution. If you are sensitive, or if maybe you are a survivor of sexual abuse, assault, or rape, I'm not here to judge anyone or tell anybody how to go about your life or anything. This is just my point of view based on my experiences, skill set as a psychiatric nurse and a psychiatric technician. And also, unfortunately, I am a victim. I am a survivor of rape, sexual abuse, and assault on multiple occasions. I have a long history, unfortunately, in which I suffered. So I have every right to talk about this. I'm almost angered by how I have been, bullied in the past, or let fear get in the way of me being silent about what I did go through. It's a part of me, and thank God, I'm so thankful to myself that I had the courage and the strength to go and, process that trauma. I did that on my own. Nobody told me to do it. It wasn't court ordered or anything like that. I didn't want to be bogged down with it anymore, because it did affect my life, and I knew, I consciously knew that. Thank goodness, I was able to do a lot of healing on my own, but I used to blame myself a lot. I was so hard on myself. Like, I hated myself for the longest time because of what happened to me. And that's what happens to people who are raped, or especially if you were sexually assaulted or abused, as a kid or adolescent by, say a family member, or, say that caused problems, for somebody's marriage. And, it was because the guy was a slime and he was sexually abusing a minor, a kid. But, here you are, this poor kid. I'm talking about myself. And, you're just completely powerless. You don't know what to do. You're in a horrible situation. And, you're being taken advantage of and manipulated to the core. But I will get more into that later. But yeah, so this is a very deep, heavy discussion. And, even though I have processed my trauma, and I'm I don't consider myself broken anymore. I don't feel broke anymore. I'm so happy for that. That is a huge accomplishment. Many people, I hate to say, sadly, the majority of people who have gone through something as I have, or even one assault, is devastating. But to have gone through what I've gone through, very small percentage of people will recover like I have. It's just, it's most people don't. And I want to change that. I want to help people. And I also want to be maybe the voice for children who are going through the situation that I went through right now. I want to talk to you guys. This is my message to you. Okay, I live in California. I'm not gonna, say the city or anything, but I mean, I had a wonderful counselor. She was so awesome. She is unusual, I have to say. I mean, she's a social worker. She still practices, and she specializes in sexual abuse and assault and rape. And so I want to tell anyone who is listening to this right now, and if you are in my area, message me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm everywhere. um, but seriously, like, if you are in need of help and you don't know what to do, if you're being raped and sexually abused and sexually assaulted, and you are trapped, because that's what happens. These perpetrators, they're very smart. They're master manipulators, and they insert themselves in a family. It's always usually the, a family member or someone who just married someone into the, they just married into the family, and they're this like greatest popular, just most popular guy on earth, Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Jock, whatever. I mean, it's the person you least likely expect. And when they see, maybe someone, a kid, someone young, vulnerable, who maybe, doesn't have a lot of support in their lives, and, maybe they see that their parents are having a lot of problems, so, they're not going to really notice anything. This is what perpetrators do. They go for, like, the weakest link, or, the really nice one, maybe, the one who maybe is having a lot of problems, or doesn't have a lot of connections, or, knows, they're kind of trapped. Maybe they have, their options are limited. They're younger, they can't drive, they're kids. Like, it's sick, it's disgusting, but these are the minds of, because I know exactly what these guys do. So, they figure they get you and they trap you to where they know, like, you probably won't tell, or you're so confused about it and you almost think that, like, you are, it's a total trick of the mind. It's really bad. I mean, they groom you. There's a whole grooming process to it, and this can go on for years. But I'm saying that if you feel like you're trapped and you don't have anywhere to go, or you don't have much family or friends, or maybe you did tell someone and they didn't believe you, or or they just don't care, or you're probably scared, because a lot of kids are scared to go to the authorities because they don't want to be taken out of the home. And let's face it, I mean, sometimes that's what would happen. I mean, I understand, like, you don't want to lose your parents, you don't want to, it's not black and white, there's a lot of gray area. And so, but please, please try. I mean, like, go and tell someone, go tell a friend, a teacher. But again, I understand, because sometimes consequences can happen there. But I think the best thing to do is, first of all, is to reach out to, like, a resource. Call the hotline. Message me if you live in California, and I can find out if you are close to me, and I can refer you to my therapist, who I saw, because she's awesome. And a lot of times you can get help where it's confidential, and it can help a whole lot, especially, I mean, if you're in the situation as we speak. It would be so helpful. Like, if I had someone to talk to about what was going on in my life, and the person who was harassing me constantly, like, it was just awful. If I had someone who supported me and had, I had I had insight, from someone from the outside, that would have been a tremendous support, and it could have, probably changed my situation. Like maybe I could have been stronger, or I don't know. I just feel like, maybe things could have changed somewhat. And so that's important to talk about it. Don't keep it to yourself. Um, I was always afraid that I was going to ruin that person's marriage. Like I was thinking about the other person because they had just gotten married, and here he is, constantly coming after me, and everybody just looked the other way, and I thought it was strange that he would always, drag me off. Like at get-togethers, he would just come over to me and like just be with me, and he would ignore the whole entire rest of the crowd. I thought, doesn't that seem a little odd to the rest of adults who are there? But I guess just people are busy, they're partying, and they just don't care. So if you're listening to this and it reminds you of maybe someone in your environment, then, don't ignore it anymore. Like, do something about it. Like, help that poor kid who is being groomed. Or, we all know sexual inappropriateness when we see it. It's that gut feeling that we have. It's our intuition. We have that voice for a reason. Our conscience is that voice. Like when you see somebody, being inappropriate, well, it's inappropriate. I mean, it's like, that seems a little off. Like, I don't know about that. Like, go to the kid who is involved in that. Like, don't go to the adult. If the person who you think is being sexually inappropriate, I wouldn't go to him, because then you're just gonna help him be sneakier about it. And so I would maybe reach out to the kid and ask him, because if somebody would have reached out to me, it would have made all the difference in the world, and it probably could have saved me back then. They would have helped me to where it wouldn't keep happening. So it's not like maybe, we have to take the child out of the home or something. I mean, it depends on where it's happening. But, things can be done where maybe, an intervention can be done, or, or maybe it can just end, like the behavior can end, because what keeps the behavior going is the silence. The silence and the secret is the problem. Silence and secrecy are deadly. That is what keeps rape and sexual assault and abuse alive, and it just keeps it keeps happening over and over again. It's a circle. It's that chain. I mean, I'm happy to say that I broke the chains of bondage. Like, I didn't repeat anything that was done to me. I didn't repeat anything that took place in my family. I'm like the only person who's done that. Like, I didn't stay with my abuser. I broke every single chain. And so I provided, a good childhood for my son. And, it's going to be different for him. And I'm proud of that, very proud of that. My therapist told me that too. So that's huge. And I did that without therapy. I mean, I did all that just on my own. But, so it's just important to talk about things. Like, message me if you're out there and you need someone to talk to, or you don't know what to do. Like, message me, and, I can give you information. I can give you resources to help you. And you're not alone. And it's not your fault. Even though you think it is, or maybe you did tell others, and they are telling you it's your fault, or, oh, you're disgusting, or whatever. Or, no, it's not. And I don't care, even if you are like, even if you're like 14 or like a little bit older, that's still, you're a child. You are a child. And if an adult is coming at you, trying to make you do sexual favors or different things, just being sexually inappropriate, that's wrong. That is sexual assault. But I know a lot of people who don't agree with that. They don't view it that way. They think that, oh, that kid, he's old enough to know better. No, you are wrong. You are so wrong, and you are part of the problem. And shame on you, and for anyone who thinks that. So I wanted to read some statistics because this is mind-blowing and it's just so sad. And this is partly why I do want to talk about all this. It's so important. It's everywhere. This is huge. I mean, in the US, okay, well, first of all, okay, we have a population of 327 million, or no, 329 million. Get this, 3 out of 4 sexual abuse cases go unreported. 3 out of 4. Well, that's basically all. That's like all the cases. That's crazy. That's scary. That tells me that like everyone is freaking being sexually molested and abused and assaulted. 3 out of 4? That's sad. That's sad, and that makes it into a problem. It's not being resolved, that's for sure. I mean, that's okay. So, 1 in 5 women will be raped at some point in their lives. 1 in 7 men will be raped. That's sad. 8 out of 10 cases of rape, the victim knew the person who sexually assaulted them. Well, that's not surprising, really, but rape costs the U.S. more than any other crime. It's at $127 billion. That's sick. Followed by assault, that's just rape, and then assault is at 93 billion. Murder is at 71 billion, not talking about that. But then get this. Okay, drunk driving at $61 billion, which is, something else I'm going to talk about because, kratom is the answer for so many things, including alcoholism, but yet here we are, the US, it costs $61 billion a year to fund probably recovery centers, which don't even hardly do a thing. I'm sorry, but I mean they need, if they had kratom, some of what they do is good. I mean, I want people to go to recovery, don't get me wrong, but they don't do enough. So anyways, okay, that's part of the, all right, let's get back to where I was. Okay, and that's just for adults. Childhood sexual abuse, which is, something that I'm really, this is like what I'm talking about because it's what I experienced. And then, yes, I did, unfortunately, I was, later on in my 20s, I dealt with being drugged and raped, and that was horrific. So, okay. And 1 in 4 little girls, this is childhood sexual abuse. 1 in 4 girls is sexually abused, and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before they turn 18. So I did the math on that, and it was something like over 100,000 or something. Or, I don't know. It's just, the numbers are astounding. I mean, so that is, it's important to discuss. It's everywhere. And then what worries me is going through this pandemic. I mean, I really feel sorry, and I worry for children, who are maybe being, sexually abused even more so because they're not in school, or, they're not like, everyone's home, everyone is together. Like, I have a feeling that, when this is all said and done, there's going to be, a spike increase in like sexual abuse cases and things. But however, maybe not though, because, nobody can talk about it. And again, that goes back to mental illness, mental health. Nobody talks about anything. If you don't talk about anything, you can't address anything. If you don't address anything, you can't resolve anything. Without acknowledgement, knowledge is power. Without that acknowledgement, you can't even begin to address the problem to even resolve it. So there's a lot of ill people walking around, that are wounded, or yes, I mean, they are perhaps mentally ill. They have psych issues. Doesn't mean they're crazy, but some are, some people are significantly impacted. The brain can only take so much, and it depends on the person. Not everybody is the same. We all deal with issues in different ways. However, look at how much addiction there is. There is a lot of addiction. There's a lot of abusing of drugs, alcohol, etc. And I would say a large percentage of that is due to the impact and trauma that people have suffered as a result of sexual abuse, trauma, rape, assault. That is what I think. Because there's just so much of it. And that's like the worst thing to have to endure. It's so hard to deal with. It's terrible. And that's why I want to talk about it, because I want to help people who are in the situation right now. And I just want you to please, like, don't think it's your fault. Don't blame yourself. What's so bad about being sexually abused, like at a young age, like, it's way worse. Like, yes, it's bad, as an adult, rape and all that, but being a kid, it's even worse, because you were growing. That's when you're coming into yourself, and that's when you're it's like a special time. It usually happens when a girl starts to mature more, and they're coming into their womanhood or whatnot, and coming of age, and that's the time when you find who you are. You're growing into the person that you're gonna be, as an adult, like, for the rest of your life. And a lot of times it kind of stunts, that, like, kind of arrested development. It's not in a good way. And it just, it just causes a lot of hardship, like, later on, like, what it causes is it causes low self-esteem. And, it just causes you to, like, be unsure of yourself and not be confident. And so, just life is hard enough as it is, and that just makes life even harder. And so, definitely, like, support can help, like, outside support, and someone who will listen to you. And again, when you see a counselor, or when you talk to someone on the phone, or there a lot of times it has to be it's confidential, so you can be rest assured that it's a safe place. You can talk about things. Okay, well, I just wanted to discuss some of that, and please, if I'm sure this might trigger some people, like, in I don't know, it might trigger like some negativity. You know, this is a very touchy subject and everyone reacts differently. Um, and, you know, I do have every right to talk about this. And I do have experience, you know, professionally also as an LVN and psychiatric technician. And, you know, I have experience. I mean, besides being a survivor, you know, I also was trained in psychology and all this stuff. So, and I've worked, you know, with lots of victims. So, so please, you know, try to, I hope you will be respectful of that if you do comment. And, you know that I'm doing this out of the graciousness of my heart. It's because I care about people. You know, I don't want to hurt anyone. I want to help heal people. You know, or maybe, or direct them or help them go into the direction of healing. You know, I want people to you know, get the help that they deserve. Okay, so love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.